Timbunke is a settlement on the Sepik, one of the large river landscapes in Papua New Guinea. For hundreds of years, people have built their houses on stilts to protect them from the regular floods. Even though the river can represent danger, it is also a life's blood of the people. It gives them food and connects them to the outside world. When newcomers arrive, the villagers put on their traditional masks and dance in honor of the guests. When the missionaries arrived more than 70 years ago, they didn't try to destroy the traditions, and so dance is still a natural part of the church festivities. 4 Divine Word Fathers and 5 missionary sisters live on the edge of the village. They haven't only built a church, they've also built a school, a kindergarten, and a medical clinic. He is the most recent arrival in Timbunke. The little Papuan was born just a few hours ago, and Sister Dorota is checking carefully to make sure everything is in place. The missionary sister runs a small hospital on the edge of the village, and nothing much surprises her anymore.
It will be not admitted only the sick one, but the whole family will come together. So, for example, I had one mother who was very anemic. She was pregnant, but she was not yet ready for delivery. She was only 30 weeks. So the husband with the 9 children, she had 9 children, came with her. So the 9 people with the husband, the whole family was occupying the one bed to waiting for the delivery of the mother.
The Polish sister has been in Papua New Guinea for 21 years, 7 of them here in Sepik. Together with almost 90 other nuns all over the country, the Polish sister belongs to the Order of Holy Spirit Sisters. When, in 1896, Arnold Jansen sent the first missionaries to what were at the time the German colonies, it quickly became clear to the monks and priests that they would get hardly any access to women and children. They asked for support from the related female order. 4 nuns started setting up schools and medical aid stations. In many areas, like here on the Sepik, they're still the only ones doing that. This girl has malaria. If she had received medical treatment in time, she would have had a chance.
She developed cerebral malaria. Now she finished with epilepsy. She will never recover. She's 19 years old and her whole life is finished because she was not treated properly. No one gave her help. So malaria is the main cause, and another sickness what is very common here, we have TB, tuberculosis. Sometimes whole the villages is infected with the tuberculosis. And many times we have not enough medicine for tuberculosis. So we always call the sister in the mountain and they spare us something and send down when we are short with medicine.
There are no doctors here. With the assistance of nurses employed there, Sister Dorota has to treat even the most serious injuries and illnesses. She is often at the very limits of what's possible.
Many times when it's very difficult, and then you just call, I said, Lord, I cannot. And in the eyes of people and in the eyes of normal like medical side, it's impossible to survive the person with 2 grams of blood or something. And I said, Lord, I cannot do it, but I am doing because you called me and you told me to help and do it. And the person survived. And then it's giving me the really feeling of touching the Lord, touching and using me to help this person. And this something is giving me the push to continue, to be and continue, because my presence have the meaning that someone is behind me and wanted me to do it this.
Every morning, the nuns and priests from the Sepik gather for a worship service. Very rarely are they all together at the same time, as they are today. The priests are often travelling for anything for up to 6 weeks, visiting the many daughter churches of the parish. On the way back, they often bring the seriously ill with them. so they can be looked after by the nuns. There are 4 other women who belong to Sister Dorita's community. 2 local women, Sister Monica from Germany, and 1 postulant. Setting off in the early morning, the speedboat takes hours to get down the Sepik to the medical station in the jungle. There's still time for rest before an almost endless day begins. Monica spent a year in Latin America as a short-service missionary, an experience which changed her life.
At
that time, I wasn't thinking of ever joining the order. I was in a long-term relationship, so that didn't come into it. But after that year, it never let me go. Experiencing how prayer can make the workload easier to bear, that just grabbed me and wouldn't let me go. And so 6 years later, I then took the leap and joined.
They've come from all the villages with their children. Sister Dorita's nursing team arrived yesterday to get everything ready. Actually, state medical aid stations should take over the provision of healthcare.
Supposed to be in our area 23 aid posts, but it's only 5 existing and half of them are closed yet. When we go for patrol, we only found one open, and the fellows are not there.
Time is short, as the expensive vaccine can only be used while it's still cool. With 3 nurses from the medical facility at Timbunke, Sister Dorita and Sister Monica get to work in a world of heat and incessant screaming.
In the country, the previous years, in the mountains, hundreds of children died, but in our area, because we immunized them good, and in time we didn't have 1 death of all the children.
I think every human being in this world should be able to look forward to a future. Not one human being in Europe is worth more than one here. And as much as we can help them and share with them, for me, it all comes down to the Christian belief that we're simply called upon to share things with each other.
We are back in Timbunke. Visiting the church is on the program today at the Timbunke kindergarten. Sister Skula and Sister Agnes are sharing this task with Sister Monica, who's already worked as a pastoral assistant in Germany. The local sisters are taking more and more of the task which was started by the German missionary sisters. Sister Agnes has a special talent for telling Bible stories. For Sister Monica, that's something which she not only finds fascinating about her fellow nun, but also where she can copy a thing or two. For Sister Agnes, a Christian upbringing is far more than just religious education. As someone who's known the culture of her country since she was a child, she's trying to change the way people think.
In our culture, we have this women have no rights in the culture. I mean, in the group like this. Women, they don't have right to talk. They don't have right to sit in the meeting where the men are. So I want to bring this into the heads of men, that we are all equal. We are all created by God, and we have the same breath of God in us, so we are all equal.
I think that as Christians, we have a clear path to follow, set out in the Gospels, which can open up new horizons. When I think for how many years they fought and the villages were decimated time and again, and they say themselves that's one of the great achievements, that a bit of peace has come to the country out of the Christian faith.